With the snow gone, a winter's worth of dirt and litter has been left behind, and now the cleanup begins. Students at Bishop Lloyd School kicked off Pitch-In Week alongside the mayor and other officials this morning. Grade 8 student Ruby Lancaster explains why it's important to do your part.
It helps everybody, the animals, us, and it makes the community look nicer.
Mayor Gerald Albers says he hears a lot of positive things about the city from people passing through, but it's important to keep Lloydminster clean all summer.
Today is a great day because it's important that we engage the youth of our community to help clean up, and that's what Pitch-In Week's all about. Doesn't matter what community you live in, it's important that we take that time. The snow's gone, spring is here, the grass is starting to turn green. It's a great opportunity to go out and pick up a little garbage and just clean up the yard and kick things off to a great year from that perspective. And engaging the grade 8s, they're our future, and I think it's very important. We've got GFL behind explaining all the pieces of our garbage and waste program, including recyclables as well as organics.
Brett Chambers with Green for Life agrees.
It's to educate the kids and clean up the city. We've over the years we've been seeing some contamination on our organics and our recycling programs, and honestly, getting out to these guys is way more important than going to the older generation like myself, because these guys are our future.
Chambers also wants to remind people about the proper use of their green bins.
Well, number one, the green bins that we have on location are on every house. Everybody are starting to think that they're recycling, but it's actually organic. So anything that you eat goes in that one, or can be eaten. So like your grass clippings and stuff. Not that I want to eat grass, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying. So and then recycling, we're starting to see like some waste items like shoes or clothes and stuff like that. That's actually unfortunately not recyclable. That goes into your waste stream. So.
There are other opportunities to take part in the community-wide cleanup. The Kinettes will be at Kinsman Park on May 2nd, and First Baptist Church will be at Bud Miller Park on May 7th. The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation held its annual fundraising gala on Friday. For 22 years, the Health Foundation has worked to improve health care in the city.
Over the last 22 years, we've raised over $3 million towards enhancing healthcare in our community, and you can see by all these amazing sponsors behind me, and our title sponsor this year, Richardson's Jewelry, who once again is just an amazing community supporter, as well as all of our sponsors. So, you know, we have an amazing gala committee led by Brenda Bennett, and every volunteer on that committee that really helps make tonight come to fruition.
This year, the focus was on the Jubilee Home and some equipment they're in need of.
We're raising funds for our Greatest Needs Fund, and that fund allows us to have essential funds on hand to be able to buy items for our community regarding healthcare when we need them. So this year, one of those greatest needs is actually a few items for the Jubilee Home. So that includes a new bathtub for them, as well as a portable bladder scanner, as well as 4 high-flow oxygen beds.
There's no tally yet on the amount of funds raised. If you'd like to donate to the Health Foundation, visit lrhf.ca. It is time now for This Week in Retrospect. Here is Callum Hawker.
This week in retrospect, we take it back to April of 1995, where the Kiwanis Club hosted an air show out in Cold Lake.
When the Kiwanis Club started organizing the air show back in January, they expected a small event with the Snowbirds as the big headliner. But since then, the air show has grown to include numerous participants. Today, though, the Kiwanis announced Four Wing Cold Lake is contributing some acts as well.
The F-18 will take part in our show. He has a 12-minute demonstration that he will do for us. This demonstration basically shows the capabilities of the F-18 fighter aircraft. And apart from breaking the speed of sound, they just about give you everything you want to see.
Besides the CF-18, a search and rescue helicopter will also be on hand to perform a simulated rescue. Some other international aircraft could also be added to the show. Right now, Operation Maple Flag is going on at Cold Lake with participants from Germany, Italy, the U.S., and Great Britain. The possibility exists that pilots from those countries could also participate.
Although we haven't got confirmation at this time, we have made a request, and again, Cold Lake has been very cooperative. And we're really looking to their help and participation in this regard to make our show even better.
With the air show quickly approaching, public interest seems to be building. Already about 1,000 advance tickets have been sold, and more sales are expected before the May 9th deadline.
I expect quite a rush this week on advance ticket sales. We'll keep printing them as long as people keep buying them.
And this week back in 1999, a local antique show took place right here in the border city.
People of all ages came out to the show. This is the third year the local club has hosted the event, and organizers say there are all kinds of items.
They would see furniture, collectible, glassware, toys. We have magazines, we have collector's cards. There is something here for everyone.
A number of items were available for people to purchase, including collector prints.
We have 4 limited edition of the Titanic, which I know a lot of people really love the Titanic, and then we have the Star Wars.
Welty says her artwork is unique for a couple of reasons.
We have for the Titanic, the youngest survivor of the Titanic, Melvina Dean, has honored me with giving a signature, and she's done that on all of these prints. And for the Star Wars, well, we have some that are available that are signed by the actors themselves.
10% of the profits from the sale of the prints goes towards food banks in Saskatchewan. Proceeds from the show and sale go toward the Optimist Club, who use the cash for local programs helping youth. Organizers say their event has once again received great support.
We're quite pleased. The dealers are happy, and so we have more dealers this year than we've had before. So we're really happy with our turnout.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
The Lloydminster Reapers rugby team is almost ready to start their season, and they are looking for some new players for 2024. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm happy to be joined by Cale Miller, the president of the Lloydminster Reapers Rugby Club, and he's here today to talk about the team itself, and they're hoping to get a few more members to join the team this year. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Cale.
Thanks for having me.
And so talk to me a little bit about the Lloydminster Reapers, when it kind of started up, and what you guys do on a daily basis, and how you guys play rugby.
So the club itself started back in 2004, actually, and they had a really successful club going there, and then a couple members left and COVID happened and it all kind of fell apart. So now we're in the rebuilding stages. We started last year, didn't get much traction, but this year has been a lot better. We're getting more players, more games, and the day-to-day thing is mostly just right now we're still technically preseason, so we're practicing on the Tuesdays and the Thursdays and keeping in contact with other teams, getting everything set up right now.
And so rugby is definitely a bit more of a rare sport here in Lloydminster, so kind of describe it for those who maybe don't know a lot about it and would maybe be interested in joining up with the team.
Yeah, so rugby, it's almost like football. The ball is a little bigger, a little heavier. It's teams of either 7 or 15, depending on how many people you can get. When the ball hits the ground, the play doesn't stop, it keeps going. The only equipment that we use are mouth guards, cleats, and sometimes if someone wants to, the little leather cap that you'll see sometimes, and that's it. It's full contact, tackling. Other than that, it's pretty similar to most like football, I'd say. You can only pass backwards or sideways, but you can kick forwards. So yeah, it looks a little confusing, it sounds a little confusing at the beginning, but if you watch it played once, you can get the gist of it really quick.
And so you mentioned that you guys are in a little bit of a rebuilding phase. If people are interested in joining the club, where is the best place for them to get more information and possibly come out to a few practices to see if they would like to join up?
There's a few places they could reach us. We have a Facebook page, the Lloydminster Reapers Rugby Club, where myself and all of the executives and all of the other players are. We have an Instagram page, same thing, Lloydminster Reapers Rugby. And we have practices every Tuesday and Thursday at the ES Laird Field at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah. And finally, if people are interested in rugby but not joining the team, when is your guys' home opener if they want to come out and watch the first few rugby games?
We are going to be hosting a game here on May 11th against the Saskatoon Badgers. And that will be at the Comp Field. I'm not sure exactly what time we're thinking of yet, but there will be more information posted on our pages about that.
Well, thank you, Cale, and be sure to check out the Lloydminster Reapers on all of their social media platforms if you're interested in joining the team or interested in watching some high-quality rugby action here in Lloydminster.
Abby St. John is back in now to take a second look at the weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Leanne. Starting current temperatures, we are sitting at 9 degrees here in Lloydminster. We saw a chillier day out today, quite overcast as well. That's kind of going to be the trend for this week. 9 degrees also out in Edson, 12 in Cold Lake, 11 in Athabasca, 12 also out in Red Deer, 5 in Jasper, and 10 in Edmonton and Whitecourt. And in Saskatchewan, 14 out in Meadow Lake, 17 in North Battleford, and 19 in Prince Albert, Melfort, and Saskatoon. We head up north in Saskatchewan, 7 in Uranium City and Wollaston Lake, 6 in Stony Rapids, 10 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, 17 in South End, and 12 out in Flin Flon. And in Alberta, 9 in Fort Chipewyan, 10 degrees out in Fort Mac, 9 also out in Slave Lake and Grand Prairie, 6 in Peace River, and 1 out in High Level. Down south in Alberta, 8 degrees out in Calgary and Coronation, 15 in Medicine Hat, 14 in Lethbridge, and 5 out in Banff. And in Saskatchewan, 14 out in Kindersley, 17 in Swift Current and Estevan, 19 in Moose Jaw, and 16 out in Regina and in Yorkton. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to 3 degrees. Will remain mostly cloudy out tonight, 15% chance of any precipitation, and 17 km/h winds. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, there is about a 62% chance of some precipitation this evening. Couple showers is predicted. Otherwise, there will be lower clouds in the sky, 13 km/h winds, and you'll be sitting at around 4 degrees. More overnight temperatures and more chances of precipitation as well. 3 degrees out in Meadow Lake, 4 in Bonnyville, 2 in Provost and Paradise Hill, and 5 out in Isla Cross. 68% chance of some evening showers in Meadow Lake and Bonnyville, 25% in Provost, 61% chance in Isla Cross, and 44% chance in Paradise Hill. So there are some chances of some showers in some areas this evening, so definitely be watchful of that. More overnight temperatures, 3 in Burnham, 4 in Pierceland, 2 in Unity and Wainwright, and -1 out in Calgary. 70% chance of some showers in Pierceland, and 94% chance of some snow rain mix, 3 to 6 centimeters in Calgary. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to 3 degrees, partially to mostly cloudy, 25% chance of some precipitation, and 17 km/h wind, so it is going to feel a little bit chilly out tonight. Over the next 7 days, a high of 12 and a low of 3 for tomorrow with a cloudy day. Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 10 and a low of -1. High of 8 on Thursday with a 63% chance of some afternoon showers with a low of -3. 10 on Friday will be your daytime high with a low of -1. 15 will be the daytime high on Saturday and Sunday with a low of -1 on Saturday and a low of 2 on Sunday. 55% chance of some rain then as well. And on Monday, to round out the next 7 days, a high of 17 and a low of 4 with a 56% chance of some showers. So it is going to be pretty chilly out this week, but it should warm up into next week. That is a look at your evening forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today I'm joined by Landon Bozer, a local author from Bonnyville, and whose books are going to be making their way to Lloydminster. Can you talk to me a little bit about what your book series is about?
What we got going on here is we have 4 different books that are based around the different animals that live in Canada. So we'll take you from west to east. We'll start over on Vancouver Island. You know, Vancouver is one of the most unique habitats in the whole world, and it's a real hotspot for eco activity. So we think that that was a great place to start. And this was actually the first book that my wife and I wrote, was the Vancouver Island edition. And largely because we lived out there for 2 years, and with all of the beautiful animals in nature, you know, pretty easy place to get inspired. Then we have the Prairie edition, which features, you know, we got all sorts of animals that you'll see in your own backyard here. We got a little groundhog. We got the rattlesnake that you might find around Calgary and southern Alberta. All sorts of cool critters. Then we have the East Coast edition for all of our Newfoundlander and Halifax friends that are out there. We know that there's plenty of East Coast people in the Lakeland, but we're not getting into the pictures on this one. You have to come down to Chapters and check it out there. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Northern Territories edition. And, you know, I think that's a pretty underserved part of the country. I actually spent some time in the Northwest Territories myself. And gosh, you want to talk about a beautiful place to live and play. It's definitely up there in the Northwest.
So this book series is going to be featured at Kohl's at the Lloyd Mall. Can you talk to me about how that process all got set up?
So my wife and I, we started writing the first book about a year ago, and by the time we finished all 4 and got them illustrated into the product that you have now, we've had these ready and for sale since about January of this year. So they're still fairly new. About a month ago, I have a sales background. I've sold everything from fire hydrants to oil field valves in my career. So I picked up the phone and just kind of started at a few different Chapters locations, starting some different dialogue. And the Chapters location in Southgate, Edmonton, were very receptive to our book, and they gave us some really good feedback and information and featured our books very quickly. From there, we got our vendor number with Indigo, which gives us access to all of the different Chapters and Kohl's locations that are available. And for my wife, Grace, and I, Chapters Lloydminster was a really easy choice as sort of the first place we wanted to branch out of after the Edmonton location, because it is the closest location that we have here in the Lakeland. So we've actually both bought plenty of books at that store in our life. So it's pretty cool that we'll be on the shelf there soon.
How has this whole process been for the both of you to have this book series be finally hitting store shelves?
It's a lot of fun, and it's really encouraging for us to see that a good Canadian, you know, a product about Canadian animals or Canadian content, Canadiana, if you will, I do think it's always in demand. So to have gotten such positive feedback over a short period of time, it's really just encouraging us to try to be creative and maybe come up with more books, whether it's something central to the Lakeland or if it's something maybe made around the oil field industry. We'd love the opportunity to work with somebody, a community group, or maybe another company that's looking to branch out in a little bit of a different direction, and maybe we could collaborate with somebody in the community on some other cool books.
All right, that covered everything that I had to say, Landon. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm here with Karen Draycott today with the Northern Lights Public School Division, and she is the Director of Learning for grades 7 to 12. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, we're talking about a very interesting program, part of the summer school, I understand, that's going to allow some kids to get some information on the trades and actually earn some credits as well. What can you tell me about it?
Absolutely. We are super excited to be able to offer this course this summer to our, any of our summer school students. So that would be grades 10 to 12, have an opportunity to enroll in this program. And what it is a dual credit program that we are participating with Portage College, who's our partner, and students can earn up to 6 credits, university college credits, along with high school graduation credits. And it's an introduction to trades. And so this course is going to offer our students opportunities to kind of try out 4 different trades, depending on the student's interest. So currently what we have is we have 6 trades that we are looking at: heavy duty mechanics, carpentry, plumbing and pipe fitter, welding, electrical, and power engineering. And depending on what the students choose, we'll pick 4 of those trades. And the students will have an opportunity to do in-class learning as well as a virtual portion for part of that course as well. But the students will be doing an 8-day in lab at Lac La Biche Portage College for those trades.
All right, it's really interesting. I have seen a lot of information and a lot of stuff going toward the high school age kids to consider the trades, that it's not that university is the end all be all for every student out there. And, you know, they can make a very good living in the trades. Is that sort of the direction that people are going with this?
Absolutely. We know that there are career pathways. There's multitude of career pathways, and we want our students to have every opportunity to understand and know the different career pathways that they can take. And while earning high school graduation credits, also earning something towards their college or university. So our, Northern Lights Public Schools is wanting to make sure that our students have an opportunity to do, our university transfer credits, our career pathways for into the trades. We are looking at multiple different routes for our students to have that success and opportunity to learn and grow.
This school is geared toward, you said 7 to 12, or is that just your area of expertise?
That is my area of expertise, but when we look at when I look at career pathways, we really are focusing on our 7 to 12, because I think the earlier our students get exposure to what is out there for careers, because we look at our traditional careers, but there is a whole new world out there with careers that sometimes students just don't think of. And it's being able to give those students an opportunity to see and be exposed to different pathways. And so we're really trying to gear our grade 7s, 8s and 9s to start kind of thinking about it, to when they get into high school they get that opportunity to take a look at those pathways.
Absolutely. I think probably by the time kids are, in grade 7 to 8, they know if they love to be a scholar and love to study and do all of that, that's required at the university level. But maybe they're more hands-on and they want to do something like that, right? They get more satisfaction from it.
Well, and what we would like to do with this introduction to trades is, we might have students that really think they're very interested in carpentry, but they kind of get into carpentry, but they get a little taste of electrical, and then they realize that might be their passion. And so as a student, you just because you're looking at one pathway or one, I'm going to be this, but then they get, oh, I love welding. That's where I'm going. Right. And so being able to have a little bit of, trying a little bit of trades to see what they might be passionate about, it gives them that opportunity to maybe change that pathway.
Well, another really, I think, under-recognized, or perhaps maybe not, just that it doesn't cost as much to go to a trade school as opposed to getting a degree at university. So your debt is going to be a lot lower with a trade school, I think, than with going to a full university course load.
And that's true, right? And when we look at our dual credit programming, these students are getting they're getting college credits with no cost to them, right? That they do not pay tuition. It is all covered under our Northern Lights Public Schools.
When does this happen?
Summer school registration starts in May. You can find our information on our website. It'll lead you right to a registration link for summer school, and students and parents can take a look and sign up for multitude of courses, not just our introduction to trades, but any of our high school courses that students would like to get even ahead on for next year, if they want to take something during the summer so it can kind of lessen their load a bit, or if they want to make some more room for different kinds of, different other opportunities. Summer school is a great option for that as well.
All right, and when do you expect the registration process to close, or is there an end date on that?
There's not really an end date. Usually we know kind of by the end of June, kind of how many students we're going to have for summer school, but we kind of keep that option open. Summer school does start July 3rd to July 25th. So we usually have something that, we know our students by that time who's attending.
All right, well, Karen, thank you so much for shedding some light on this trades program, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and we are looking forward to running this program.
Well, Abby, maybe not the best weather this week for too much outdoor activity, but maybe get a little start on your indoor gardens.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be too bad. It's just not going to be super sunny out, and then we have a chance of some rain over the weekend. I know we did this past weekend and we didn't really have any, but there is always that chance, and we really need it. So hopefully it does rain a little bit.
That's all we have for you this evening. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good night.